Hi, Farah's Fables and Folklore is coming back. I got this new book, Rebel Folklore, right up my street, written by Icy Sedgwick, illustrated by Melissa Jarham. Oh, just look at it. Thank you, Win Abbott, for the beautiful mug. Still can't believe she's stuffing ceramics, like, yeah. Anyway, it's like relief at the front as well. So beautiful. But I thought I would open it with you all and kind of restart, kickstart Farah's Fables and Folklore again. Because the front part of it grabbed my attention. It says, empowering tales of spirits, witches and other misfits from Anansi to Baba Yaga. I have a soft spot for Baba Yaga. Who doesn't want to be a witch in the woods? The first page I opened it on, Raven, one of my beautiful friends, who is cruelly suffering with MND. And he said NMD then. MND, motor neuron disease right now. A year ago, she got her diagnosis, and it has been a cruel and swift disease. But there's a whole big, massive group of us that love her to the ends of the earth and beyond. And I hope she knows that. I just read, we can't always rely on Raven to help because these tales don't support the good-bad binary familiar in the West. I think I might read this. It's from the USA. Raven. It's a baking hot day and a haze hangs low above the tarmac. A black shape flutters above you before landing near a hole in the ground at the edge of the park. The raven peers into the hole, spotting water at the bottom that it just can't quite reach. It hops away, returning moments later with a pebble, which it drops into the hole. The bird repeats the action several times until the water level rises and the raven can take a refreshing drink. Raven tales are traditional stories from the indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest coast. They also appear among other First Nation cultures, such as the Inuit of Alaska, Greenland, and northern Canada. Raven is a trickster, one of folklore's ineffable characters who can cause mischief and mayhem or save the day by using wits rather than brute strength. A creative problem solver, he's able to take on different forms depending on his aims. But unlike other tricksters like Anansi, who could sometimes be benevolent, Raven often works to please himself, and helping others is an accidental byproduct of his actions. Indigenous groups are not a monolith, and the stories and beliefs vary across tribes and regions. Although stories may have similarities when explaining the same ideas or concepts, something we see with the Raven tales. These types of myth help to explain features of the natural world, while they tell the origin stories of groups to preserve their history. Stories also act as cautionary tales to help warn against danger. It's important to respect the fact that certain indigenous tales are the cultural property of the group or storyteller that created them and shouldn't be shared without that group's permission. The Raven tales fall into this category, so the individual tales here have been shared previously, chosen to respect the integrity of indigenous storytelling. One legend from the Salish people, retold by the National Library of Medicine as part of their Native Voices, Native Peoples Concepts of Health and Illness exhibition, explains how Raven's trickery was accidentally beneficial to humanity. A shaman hoarded the world's main light sources, the sun, the moon, fire, and stars, hiding them under the sea so that humans could never find them. Raven decided to help, so he disguised himself as a white owl and set out to befriend the shaman. Eventually, Raven won the shaman's trust, and when the shaman lowered his guard, Raven seized his opportunity to steal the hidden light. Raven let them go one at a time, but he carried the sun the longest. It shriveled his claws, and the intense heat turned his feathers black, which explains why the raven has such dark, glossy feathers. In this version of the tale, Raven sets out to help humans, but at a personal cost to himself. We can't always rely on Raven to help because these tales don't support the good-bad binary familiar in the West. Another version of this story, told by the Haida artist Bill Reed, also thanks Raven for the existence of light in the world. In the time before there was light, the universe was entirely dark because of one old man. He lived by the river and kept the universe's light in the smallest of a series of boxes that nestled inside one another. As the story goes, the old man didn't want to see if his daughter was ugly or beautiful. So he hid the light, and they both lived in blissful ignorance. Oh my God. Raven hatched a plan and transformed himself into a hemlock needle to hide in the daughter's drinking water. She swallowed him and became pregnant, eventually giving birth to him as her Raven child. The patriarchal old man accepted his grandson, and Raven capitalized on his doting behavior to beg him to open all the boxes. The old man opened them all to keep this Raven child happy, and when he reluctantly opened the smallest box, Raven snatched the light and flew out the window, taking the light into the world. In this version of the story, the superficial old man gets a happy ending too, when it turns out his daughter is beautiful after all. Though, of course, how good looking she is shouldn't matter at all when daylight is at stake. Christian White, a Haida artist, points out that the Raven's role as a trickster meant he often brought great change to the world, both by accident and on purpose. In other stories, he also creates the land, discovers humans, and brings fire to the world, making him a force of transformation wherever he goes. I'm going to say wherever she goes. Raven acts purely to improve the world for his own benefit. Okay, since we all benefit, since we also benefit as a result, we can be thankful for his actions, but we can't always rely on him to help because these tales don't support the good-bad binary familiar in the West. And the Raven is far more nuanced. Rather than expecting Raven's help, we can instead follow the lesson that creative thinking and challenging authority, especially when that authority harms us, can get us where we need to go. I like that lesson. Raven's status as a trickster depends on intelligence, and the science actually supports this understanding of ravens as birds. Recent studies have shown that ravens are as intelligent as great apes before they even reach maturity. And research also shows that they can even plan and strategize, much like humans. I love that. Ravens even build their own tools to help them reach and carry food, and scientists suggest ravens enjoy using them. Ravens can even remember humans who treat them badly, and are more friendly towards those that have been nice to them. They're wonderful, clever birds, and the raven tales show us how cunning and intentional they truly are. While later versions have been watered down to make Raven less selfish or more caring towards humans, we can learn much about human impulses from the original Raven tales, and the need to look beyond simplistic binary thinking. How true is that? The need to look beyond simplistic binary thinking. Like everything is this or that, and no grey area. Come on. That was beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Raven, you've been in my thoughts so much today as well. So that was just the perfect way to kick off Fables and Folklore again. So I will put the link to this book in my bio thing for the video in the description. And I'll put an associates link. So if anybody buys it from this link, any of the funds that will come through via an associates link to me, I will forward on to the MND Association charity to donate them in Raven's name. Thank you all so much for joining me. I am hoping to continue with this series for a little while at least, because I like the book and I really like the way it's written, and that was fun to read too. And I hope that you will all join me. I am currently sitting in my hammock chair resisting the urge to swing. But I'll keep doing these and bringing you more stories. Rebel Folklore. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.